Hi OG, I'm Architect JM, and welcome to this industrial Japandi home. Tara, pasok tayo. Yung inspiration ni owner is more of like kalmado lang siya. So we want a space na parang magaan lang yung pakiramdam mo when you enter the space. Yung inception niya was sort of inside the pandemic. So nung pandemic kasi of course, there was like a lot of spaces na kailangan siya ma-transform or retrofit into workspaces. So the challenge was how do we create like a work from home setup na hindi siya na parang pinilit lang. So there's this concept kasi na activity-based workspace. So parang you have spaces na pwede maging creative. You have spaces that you can focus. There's spaces that you can collaborate in. So I think dito sa space namin, it's more of like we have those spaces na conducive pa rin siya sa work conditions. It's really like thinking about how the owner wants yung lifestyle niya to be in the space. So thinking about it in the long term, how do you execute properly yung work mo while being at home. So the initial design was more of an industrial look. So in terms of industrial look kasi, you'd have these very rough elements. So very rustic, you'd have bricks involved, exposed ceilings, a lot of very bare finishes. But when we were exploring it further, parang mas nag-resonate kasi yung medyo Japanese style, Scandinavian materials. So we sort of transitioned from industrial to more Japanese, traditional Scandinavian design.
Ever since nag-work po ako sa bahay lang po, work from home po. So over time po, na-realize ko na I need a bigger space po and comfortable po. Kasi every time po is napapansin ko na nagde-degrade yung productivity ko po since maliit yung space, walang natural light. So that's why I decided po na maghanap po ng someone na who can help me po to have a more comfortable space po for working and for relaxing po. Actually, nung first po is wala po talaga akong any idea kung paano gumawa ng house or sino po i-hire or kunin, kausapin. And I did a lot of research po online, mainly through Facebook po. So I was searching for architects po, contractors, and nakita ko po din yung Facebook page po ni Architect JM. And doon po nag-start and I was looking po yung mga sample po na work portfolios po. Kasi po yung mga design niya is puro maaliwalas and modern. And yun po talaga yung hinahanap ko.
My style is mostly go for clean lines and of course maaliwalas. And it's supposed to have a purpose behind everything. So in terms of spaces, we want like, it's not just there para papaganda. Dapat may purpose siya. So in terms of the way I do things, of course when you get an architect, it's always gonna be, there's a specific set of influences na from the architect. For me, I think it's important na may chemistry kayo with the owner. Kasi if you don't have that chemistry, you probably have different directions na. Fortunately for me, I think for the owner and the architect, in this case, medyo aligned kami in terms of values. So in terms of materials, we have just paint, we have wood elements as well as white, grays, very natural, very toned down materials para lang talaga ma-achieve yung magaan na pakiramdam. From the outside, you'll be greeted by a lot of like greeneries. So you have a garden there. It keeps with the theme of Japanese style design. When you enter, you're greeted by the sunken living area. This is where the owner spends his relaxation space time with. Sometimes nagkakaroon siya ng mga viewing parties here, maybe watch a movie. It's very relaxing place kasi because it's sunken, it's sort of like the building hugs you in a way, that you're within the building. So it's really a place for relaxation and creativity. It's also where you have the view of the garden and the sky at the same time. Next, we have the kitchen space, is where you have your sort of social gathering space. Medyo informal siya. So you have a place where you can cook and have a meal with your friends. This is more a common use kesa dun sa dining outside. So moving on to the outside, we have dining space there, which seats around 5 to 6 people. So this is where you want like barbecues probably, or maybe in the middle of the night, you'd have like a few guests over. That's a great place to hang out in. So going up, we have this like open staircase. So this open staircase, it's not like a concrete solid block of staircase, para mas nag-flow yung elements throughout the house. And then you have the bedroom. So the bedroom, of course, is where the owner sleeps. This is also where he works, which is most of the time work from home siya. And then, of course, you have the walk-in closet and the toilet. Of course, keeping with the minimalist concept, it's important to have minimal clutter as well. So to achieve that, we have a lot of hidden storage that is incorporated in the design. The orientation of the property, we've utilized yung east and west, we've utilized the north, but at the same time the south, which is the highest heat gain. You have these two huge windows kasi in the living area, but ang unang reaction mo probably, ang init yan, architect eh. But the thing is, it's actually oriented towards the north. So when it's on the north kasi, you have less direct, actually no direct sunlight, puro indirect siya. Kasi the sun rises from the east and then sets in the west. And then ang pinakamataas na exposure talaga ng sun is yung south. That's where we actually located most of the storage, the service areas, as well as yung toilet and bath. Kasi normally you don't need the coolness in this space, so that's where we located it. Ang brand ko kasi is more of yung maaliwalas talaga. Maaliwalas na in a sense that you have plenty of natural light, but at the same time, you're allowing natural ventilation to flow through the property. So from the east and west, you'd have these low windows here, the jalousies, that's actually supposed to capture wind from the east or northeast from amihan. And then for exhaust, the wind actually flows through the property on the higher windows. So from the higher windows, those are oriented towards the southwest naman. So that's how the prevailing winds are captured throughout this house. So the air exchange is primarily optimal in this case. And lastly, of course, yung orientation ng mga less required na cooling dun sa south. I think that's something that's unique here. So you consider the sun, but at the same time, you capture the wind elements throughout the property.
Sa house po, yung favorite spot ko po is yung sunken living area po. Since feel ko po dito sa house na to, nandito po yung features na you have the two big windows po na may view po ng garden and ng sky. And also, gustong-gusto ko rin po yung customized na couch na very well integrated po dun sa sunken floor. Kasi po dito, very open po eh. Halos kita mo po lahat ng sa house pag nasa sunken area ko po. So, yun po yung favorite spot ko po.
So yung lot area is actually 1,500 square meters, which is huge. But there's two buildings na and a few structures within the property. So the challenge, of course, is to how do we locate the project within that crowded space. So in terms of the floor area, it's around 175 square meters, yung building lang. It's the ground floor, you have the second floor or the loft, and then you have the outdoor area, which is the dining area. The construction started around June and it finished mga December. So around 6 months yung construction phase. So I would say fairly fast naman siya. There was minor fixes pa that came along mga January, but the owner was able to move in on December pa lang. So in terms of challenge, I think it's during the pandemic kasi we went through like 4 different potential contractors. Finding the right contractor with the right budget as well as in timeline kasi is I think the most challenging aspect of it. So we were lucky enough to work with AAPK builders. So they were able to deliver the project within expectation and within the time frame allocated.
First advice po talaga is find someone who can help you create your vision. And wag pong padalos-dalos sa kukunin mga tao. You have to be careful din po din because It costs a lot of money rin po eh. Kailangan maging sure ka rin po sa design. Sa construction po, mahirap na po yung pabago-bago eh. Kailangan maging decisive ka po kung ano po ba talaga yung gusto nyo. I think for long term po, kung paano po kayo titira doon.
I think building a home should be thought of as something long term. So hindi lang siya something that you try to solve yung problems na pain points mo sa dati mong bahay. It's supposed to be like a picture that you paint for the future of how you want to live your life. So definitely think about yung lifestyle, how do you want to spend your life. I mean, doctors save lives, but architects sort of like envisions a place that you could actually spend your life in. So think about it in the long term, definitely. Try to make it maaliwalas, of course. Hire an architect, we're here to help.
Want to share your house and get featured? Email us at stories.onlygood@gmail.com and tell us about your interesting home story. For more videos like this, subscribe to OG and be part of the community.